The following program is produced by Marshfield Community Television.
Well, today, since it's getting so close to Thanksgiving, like in two days, we decided it's time to start making some holiday treats and cookies and different things. So we are going to make your favorite Christmas cookie.
It is.
Which
right
can also
up there.
be eaten at Thanksgiving time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Start early and go for a month or two. I prefer if you do these like 12 months here, but I know
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
All you
just
have to do is
it's
request.
Seasonal. I'm going to do that.
So we're making, actually you call them pecan balls.
That's how I grew up calling them.
Right, but they're also called Russian tea cakes, Mexican wedding cakes, just a variety of names, but they're still in your book pecan balls. Okay,
That's right.
So we're going to start out by putting in a cup of butter, which is two
those?
sticks of
Okay.
butter. This is actually salted butter. You can use either salted or unsalted butter.
And it needs to be just soft.
Like room temperature
soft, okay.
And if you just took it out of your refrigerator and you're ready to start baking, then you can just put it in the microwave on 50% power for about
Just a few seconds.
15 seconds maybe.
Probably.
Okay.
Yep.
So to a cup of butter, we're going to add a half a cup of granulated sugar
Okay.
and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay.
Okay.
And then you're going to just stir that around until everything is
Okay.
incorporated really
I'm
well.
going to go get some towels and
okay.
wipe my fingers
All right.
off.
I'll get that started. So you were telling me that you have actually have you made these from scratch yourself?
I never have, no.
Okay. You just kind of help maybe
I always
towards
help
the
eat.
end?
I always help eat them.
Or the
Yeah,
eating part?
The eating part,
Yeah.
I'm the best at. Otherwise, I've helped just roll them in powdered sugar at the end of the process.
Okay.
Okay, oops.
No, just a
Fine.
little.
Is this
yep,
okay?
Just a little. Really, just turn that down just a
Turn
little
it down
bit.
a little bit.
Yeah, you
So
want it
get
just nice and smooth.
Okay. Like so.
It's really a pretty easy recipe to make.
You make
Okay,
everything look so easy,
yeah.
though. It's just,
Okay,
that's just
so
your nature.
I'm going to maybe what we'll do is we'll just get this up here.
Like that. Okay.
Yeah, and just
Scrape
smooth
this down.
everything out in your bowl so everything is in the middle. This could actually be beaten just a little bit longer.
Should we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
You just want it nice and smooth before you add your last ingredients, okay?
All right. So smooth is a relative term. What
Right,
is
just
smooth
kind of
is
keep
smooth?
everything together in the middle of your dish.
How are we doing?
Okay, that's good.
Is that good? Now you want this.
So we are going to have that turned off.
Okay.
And then we're going to add 2 cups of flour. Okay?
Now that you turn on really slow. to
Really
start with.
slow. Yeah. And just kind of with the flour you just keep stirring until it's fully incorporated,
Okay.
and just kind of keep stirring and get it all
off the
mixed in
sides.
there. Now this is one of the few recipes I actually make that doesn't have eggs in it. Many of our,
Well, that's true.
I mean, almost everything we make, well, cookies will typically
An
have,
egg or two. Yeah.
right.
So this one's just
But many of the Christmas, cookies,
It's
other
just-
holiday
yeah.
things don't
it's
have
butter,
eggs.
flour, and sugar.
Butter, flour, sugar,
And a little
vanilla, and then we're going to add the pecans right at the end.
Now is this getting close?
It's getting close.
Okay. And when do we know we're done?
When
it
you
looks
when you
like-
feel like it's all incorporated really well.
So we need to have this so it's easily patable, right?
Right. And even the texture is still kind of not completely solidified. It's
Right.
going to be
Okay.
kind of like what it is right now.
Okay. So we're
Okay,
saying
so
looking pretty
we're
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay. Should I?
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like powdery, and you just take all of this off with your knife.
Okay.
So as you're making them, into the shapes, then you just have to, put it together. I've made these like in the morning, like I made the dough in the morning.
Yeah.
And I want to get a head start on my baking. So you can make it in the morning, I usually cover my dish, but cover the bowl with some saran or just some kind of a covering. If you're trying to be eco-friendly, there's other, covers that you can use that you don't have to use plastic wrap, even just a plate you can put on your bowl.
So you need this chilled down at all? Is that what you're saying?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
No.
But if you were delayed in getting these rolled
Right.
up, then
Yep,
you'd stick
if
them
you
in
want
the
to get a
fridge.
lot of your cookies made, then you
Okay.
can first stir that.
Stir this around.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to get this out of your way.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this
Okay.
off here. You're probably not going to see that. And we'll get this out of here.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like
Okay, it's kind of powdery.
just powdery,
Yep.
but yet you're able to, with the warmth of the palm of your hand, you can roll them into balls
Right.
or into
Okay.
fingers.
And our
Okay.
last ingredient is a cup of finely chopped pecans.
Just gently stir it in.
And because you're going to be making them into different shapes, you don't want your pecans real large.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I
So
got
let
that.
me get your pans ready.
Being my typical self here, when I do my stirring, I'm getting powder all over the table. But that's okay. 'cause if
You
we're
would
under-
you
I
would
be-
never do that.
Yeah, I would be lost if I didn't at least make a little bit of a mess. There, that's not too bad. That can go in there,
Just
right?
push this aside, and you
Okay.
never even know there was any
You
mess
wouldn't even know
there.
I was here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take this off here. Okay.
And now
when we
is
start.
when I was growing up, I always, like I said, called them pecan balls.
Mm-hmm.
So I always rolled them into balls.
Okay.
But then as I was looking at different recipes over the years, it's kind of fun to roll them in different shapes.
Right.
So what I've enjoyed doing,
So
and
you
what
take
you
about a
would do is
tablespoon?
about a tablespoon. And then you just have to kind of form it in
So
your hands.
Kind of warms up in your hand.
Right, mix it around. And by
Okay.
the time you finish doing that,
Are we making balls
it's
or
nice
fingers?
and soft. So we are making fingers. No, we're
Okay.
going to make crescent shapes, okay?
I don't have quite enough here, I don't think. So what you do is you warm it up, is what you're basically saying. That butter gets warm.
And then you can just kind of mold it on your
Okay.
cookie shape,
I'm gonna put
okay?
that- Yeah, we're gonna do this together, aren't we? There.
You want to, and flatten
Flatten them
the
down a little
top
bit,
just a
okay.
little bit.
All right,
And we'll just do
let's do a couple more.
a couple more here.
Just for,
I can give you
okay,
that,
you give me the amount.
and then we'll just do a couple more.
That's a good idea.
And what I also like to do is if you're going to do different shapes, I like to keep one shape, all of the same shape on your
the
cookie
sheet.
sheet. Because if you do roll them into balls, they're going to be bigger and,
Mm-hmm.
higher. And then you're going to tend to
They won't
maybe,
bake the same.
exactly,
The round ones, the balls probably need to bake longer.
a little bit. Okay, so that's good. So anyway, so we're just going to continue doing this.
Okay.
We already had some in the oven that I
Okay.
made earlier.
All right.
And one recipe will make about 4 dozen cookies and bake at 325 for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be lightly browned when they come out.
Okay.
And I'm just going to bring over the ones that we already
Okay, yeah.
have made.
Get those out of
and
the
then
oven.
they'll be all set to roll in powdered sugar.
Excellent.
So now we've got another batch coming out of the oven. And what I like to do is make different shapes. So like the first set that I took out are in the shape of like a crescent, and these are like a finger. You can also do them just in balls. That's kind of how we grew up, having the pecan balls. In fact, we call them pecan balls, but they are also known, as I had said before, as Russian tea cakes or Mexican wedding cakes. So I'm going to take these over to the counter, and now we're ready to start rolling my first batch in powdered sugar. So these are, as I said, the first batch that we did, and you can let them cool down for 10 to 20 minutes, really. They can be almost completely cool before you start rolling them in powdered sugar. And are these still your favorite cookie?
These are absolutely my favorite cookie. I have a lot of favorites, but this is right in the top 5, I would say, when it comes to, especially the Christmas time. It's a seasonal cookie.
And what's kind of interesting is, I mean, you can really make these all year round, but I really only make them at Christmas time.
Yeah, I know, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Some things are just, it's like most things you make at Christmas time could be.
Right,
Year round, but
any of it, right.
yeah.
I mean, like fudge. Fudge just seems like that's a Christmas time, thing to make.
Am I doing all right here?
Yeah.
Am I getting enough sugar
Yep.
on? You want to
Yep,
make sure they're
those are
well
fine.
coated, correct?
And when you're putting your tray together, if you don't think you've got quite enough sugar on them, powdered sugar, you can always put a little bit more
Sprinkle
on.
a little on?
Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes I've had powdered sugar that was really lumpy, and if it is lumpy, then just put it through a sifter so that it's nice and smooth, when you're putting that out. Okay. So I'm going to let Gary continue doing his thing with the powdered sugar.
Okay.
And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Ruth. So until next time, I hope you have a really happy Thanksgiving, and we're excited to have our kids coming home in a couple of days.
Yes, they
so
will.
until next time, happy cooking. And the taste tester as good as you remember from last year? Better? It makes your jaw hurt?
It hurts my salivary glands. It's so good. Oh.
Well, I guess it's another success.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start at the very beginning.
You know they're recording this.
Place to start.
Louder. If you're going to sing, belt it out,